Welcome to It Tastes Different Appetizers. I'll do my best hanky. But on this episode, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. Woohoo! We're going to talk about South Park. South Park decided that they went with it, signed a basically $9 million deal with Viacom CBS to put out a bunch of movies and episodes and various things of that nature. But they also signed with them to put out a new video game. So we're going to talk about mainly the video game, but there's not much really to talk about with the video game. They signed on to make another video game. Right now, they don't know if it's going to be with last two were with Ubisoft. This one may be with something else. It may be Ubisoft. It may be someone else. Who knows? There's really very little information about it. But basically, $9 million, that's a lot of money to put out a whole bunch of movies. I think 14 movies is what they said. They're all going to be on Paramount Plus, and a new video game. And I think some new shows too. I'm not quite sure, but I know all the shows now are on HBO Max, so you can watch them all on there. But yeah, that's a crazy deal, and we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to go over to Shane, Mr. Hat, and let him let us know what you think about this.
Okay, first of all, you were just a little short on your number. You said 9 million. It was 900 million.
Yes, I'm sorry, 900 million. Yes.
That's like 20, mint condition Mario. So don't get that confused. Holy crap. $900 million for, essentially they have made more money than Jesus up to this point, and now they just surpassed Jesus. So it is unfreaking real. 900 million. How do you think the negotiations were on that? I mean, really? Well, we want $1 billion, and they're like, "We'll give you 900 million." Hey, fuck it, let's do it. I mean, wow, $900 million. That's nuts. The game is I'm looking forward to because we've all played as Patrick noted out the fractured butthole and the stick of truth, and they're fantastic. They truly are. They're funny, and they're South Park, but they're South Park with an amazing game. It really is. I mean, great RPG. This also encompasses the movies and TV shows and whatnot. I mean, how long has South Park been on? Pat, look that up while I rant. I mean, it's been around forever and a day. South Park is still hugely popular to the tune of $900 million. So, wow. Good for them. Trey Parker, Matt Stone doing their own damn thing for how many years now? I mean, besides South Park, they have the Broadway musical Book of Mormon, which is, I've seen parts of it, and it's goddamn hilarious. Pardon my language, but it is so freaking funny. And, and the movies.
Team America.
And Team America. Yeah, don't forget Team America.
Don't forget basketball.
Basketball, that was my next one. But that's amazing. But out of that deal, we're getting a new South Park game. Will it be another MMO or an RPG? Will it be, something along the lines of the original South Park back in like 96 or 86, whatever the hell it was, on the, Nintendo 64? I'm still just flabbergasted by the price. So I'm going to throw it over to Pat, get his thoughts and his opinions here, because $900 million. Holy.
It's Mr. Slave.
Mr. Slave.
How's that hand feel there, Mr. Hat? Jesus Christ. As Nick said, I think it was 6 seasons. They signed on for 6 more seasons out of that deal. Holy crap. I mean, and as Shane had pointed out, South Park has been on the air since 1997. So before I graduated high school. So they've been around for a long time. They're in like season 24 or something like that. And like Nick said, they're on HBO Max. But I love the Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole. The play on names for Fractured Butthole is just great. I'm like, it's just great. I saw the name and I read it to myself and I'm like, oh my God, that's genius. That's hilarious. They're very popular. Obviously they're very popular because every episode is about current pop culture events or current events. I mean, everything current events they've done. We're in COVID times. They've done COVID. They've done every major event. I'm looking forward to see if I don't watch them regularly anymore, but I'm looking forward to see if they do a Jeff Bezos episode with his cock rocket. So, games, I love their games. I mean, the South Park Chef's Love Shack back on the Dreamcast was a great game. I like that one. That was probably one of my favorite, but I will admit Fractured Butthole and the Stick of Truth are great games. And they have the same similar, genre to them. And what more can you say about that stuff? I mean, everybody thought these guys are idiots. They're stupid, and look what they have done. So they do so much crap that people hate them. You hate them or you love them, right? I mean, that's what it is. They're getting a whole bunch of movies. They're getting, obviously enough people love them. They're getting new episodes, new movies, and now a new game. I'm really hoping it's going to be more in the vein of like Stick of Truth than the Fractured Butthole. But if not, whatever. It'll be a good game, I think, because they seem to have found the winning strategy for this game, and I'm all for it. I don't know if they'll stick with Ubisoft or Obsidian, because Obsidian is now they're not independent anymore. So I don't know if they'll be doing the development work, right? I think Ubisoft published the last ones. I can't remember, but I think Ubisoft published, but Obsidian developed the games.
Yeah, I think Obsidian developed one of them. I don't know if it's the Stick of Truth or the other one, but
I think they did the Stick of Truth.
I think they did do the Stick of Truth. And I think someone else did Fractured Butthole, but
right. Yeah.
Or vice versa.
No, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right. The Fractured Butthole was not developed by them. I think that one was actually developed by Ubisoft.
It was developed by Ubisoft San Francisco and then published by them, of course.
But, I mean, whatever. I mean, maybe we'll get another... whatever they decide, it'll probably be pretty good and pretty funny. Everything they do is hilarious. I mean, their movies are just slapstick stupid, but they're so funny. I mean, who would think that you could make a movie about Saddam Hussein and the devil having a sexual relationship, and just turning out into a whole freaking thing?
Hey, we were talking about it before we recorded this. So
right, exactly. And so, but yeah, in Team America, I mean, what's not funny about puking puppets, So,
that's what I was going to say. That's what makes them who they are, because they've hit such a niche of people at the beginning, and it just grew. Because I never really was a big fan of theirs until the movie came out, and I watched the movie with somebody. I don't remember who it was, and I couldn't stop pissing. It was so damn funny. I mean, the music in it was probably my favorite thing. I mean, it's just such a great movie. And, from that, I started, watching South Park here and there. I mean, South Park is The Simpsons with dick jokes for the last 20-something years. So who doesn't love a good dick joke?
I mean, they basically took the Seth MacFarlane formula and like perfected it. There's always like an animal creature that can talk, and then a family and just an oddball kid or whatever. And they're basically like, we're going to throw in a hand puppet that can talk. We're going to throw in this towel that gets high and talk. Hell, we're going to bring in a Christmas poo and he's going to talk, And so they just bring in everything.
And what makes it great is the way you brought up, they're always topical. They are always on the current event. And it's because they have the cheapest freaking budget on earth to make these animations. I mean, it's literally just freaking put a picture down and you move it a hair, and then, you have some Korean guy translate it. That's it. It's freaking awesome. They're geniuses. They truly are in every essence. I mean, the amount of money they made from something so simplistic but smart is just amazing. Props.
Right. They invented that Orgasmo Ray for real from Orgasmo, and they just shot it into all their movies and shows.
I forgot about Orgasmo.
And their games, because I mean, in all honesty, it's hard for me to find something that they made that I don't think is somewhat funny, even if I'm just like, that's cringy, but it's still kind of funny. I mean, even their own people in their show is not immune to them. I mean, we all heard the story about the guy who plays Chef leaving because they made fun of his religion and everything. And they're like,
but it is Scientology. So technically, I don't give a shit.
Right. Well, I mean, they don't spare any expense in anything. In anything. I mean, they'll make fun of anything and everything, whether you hold it dear or not. You just have to be able to laugh at it. And the games are no different. That's what I'm saying. The Fractured Butthole game is so freaking funny. I mean, the band of superheroes that they've invented to play this game, it's so bad. I mean, how else can you have a fat kid like Cartman play a superhero called the Coon? I mean, that's so bad. But they get away with it. Right, exactly. Slider. Yes, I forgot about that.
The more difficult, the darker you get. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's so like borderline, like, I mean, it is in all intents and purposes. You want to look at it, it's a racist thing at some point, but they get away with it somehow. Because they even have a kid on the show called Token, and he's a black kid. And I'm like, I mean, I am surprised it's still on the air, to be honest with you, with today's cancel culture.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That's because they've done it intelligently, just like Family Guy. People are having enough familiarity with them since they've been on so long that, and don't get me wrong, I know there's still cancel culture little bitches out there that are trying to probably take them down, but majority of common sense using people know that there is nothing offensive about what they're truly doing. They're just having fun and being funny.
They're calling out current culture is what they do in every episode. That's why there's a kid named Token, because they're like, it's a token black kid, and they're just making fun of it because that's kind of a thing in culture, in the American culture, I should say, because they're making fun of American culture things, not really like they do some worldwide cultures, but it's really satire at the U.S. type culture or North American culture, because they're Canadian. They make fun of Canadians. I mean, Canadians are the only ones in the show that looks like the talking trash can because their heads dissociate from their body, like, hey,
Yeah.
So,
but that's what, that's where they're smart at. That animation style is cheaply done, and it's amazingly done that they bring so much to that type of animation. It's fantastic. And normally I'm an animation whore. I am very picky about any type of animation I watch, be it from anime to just a traditional American cartoon. And I think that was one of the things that I was thrown off by when the show first released was it looked so cheap. But the movie changed my mind instantly, and now I can't talk about a South Park episode without talking about Tom Cruise or John Travolta. It's just, or the cat, whenever huffing cat piss, that's
cheesing it, man. You're cheesing it.
Cheesing it. Yeah. And that's such a credit to them. And they bring this into their games. Because that's what makes it so freaking awesome.
Do you remember the cheesing episode? Every time they cheese, they went into the world of heavy metal, but they called it Titopolis or something like that. I'm like, it's heavy metal. They just basically ported the heavy metal world. Mm-hmm. But their games are just as funny, just as great. I thought the game was hilarious, but the last two, Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole, it's just play on words, hilarious. And as Shane has pointed out, the beginning of the show, they started out with construction paper. It was like stop motion animation with construction paper style crap. And I mean, I can still picture the day, the satellite dish shooting out of Cartman's ass. That's like, and the aliens, because it was Cartman gets an anal probe or whatever, and that was like one of the first few episodes. But the game plays on all that stuff.
That was my favorite part about the game on the 64, man. Just, he bends over a little fat bastard. He goes.
Right. So, I mean, I would like another game in the same genre as the Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole, but I wouldn't really want to mind any of the other styles. I've kind of enjoyed what they got. So I will buy what they put out to play it. We'll probably even review it if they do it anytime soon. I'm all for it. I'm game. Let's go. Where's the South Park game? They need to do like what Family Guy does. Instead of making like Family Guy Star Wars episodes, it's going to be South Park Star Wars game where all the Star Wars characters are South Park characters. So we'll do Tally will be Darth Vader. You know, he's just always high, and the breathing noise is always just going to be Tally hitting a bong. You know, that's what you need to do. That's what I vote for. So I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Go, Nick.
No, I was just saying, yeah, I can't wait for it. I mean, yeah, I mean, South Park has that type of humor, and it's funny and it's great, and you know, it's been around for a long time. So I'm excited to see what the next South Park game turns out to be. So I'm 100% there.
Awesome.
I would love to see them possibly approach another genre. I mean, we know they can make RPGs. And I'll be honest, I don't doubt that they don't have something in some sort of works or pipeline right now as far as a game. But I mean, what other genre could you really put their humor and, you know, characters and stuff in?
You name it, they can do it. I mean, they could do an RTS if they want to.
I was thinking about an RTS. I was also thinking about just a GTA style, you know, open world South Park town thing going on. You know,
survival horror.
There you go, survival horror. There you go. It's the Halloween episode.
That would be freaking awesome. Or they're on the island of Dr. Moreau. They're trying to escape.
Get away from the five-assed monkeys. Five-assed monkeys.
Yep.
So yeah, it sounds like we're all interested in the game, and we can't wait for it. You know, I mean, I was really surprised when I played the Stick of Truth. I couldn't believe how good it was. So I had to get the Fractured Butthole because that game was that great. So we're all looking forward to it. You know, and sounds like Mr. Hat and Mr. Hanky agree. We're all looking forward to it.
Yep. And if Mr. Stone or Mr. Parker need a house bitch, I'm looking for another job.
You can be their house cat. He's going to live in a drawer in their bedroom, like in basketball. He sleeps in the drawer. Like, what was that kid's name? Was it Tweed? Or I can't remember what they called him. What was the kid that slept in? They wanted to join their basketball team, and so he slept in the drawer in their bedroom.
I can't think of it.
I can't remember.
I just know for $900 million, I'll sleep where the hell they want.
Right. Yeah. Well, cool. Sounds like we're all ready and raring for this one. This is a game that we're all looking forward to. And, you know, obviously we'll see their movies because the movie that they did put out with Satan was pretty hilarious. I'm pretty sure. I know it caused a lot of controversy, but, you know, cool. All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching.